For people who don't own guns, what's your protocol if an armed intruder breaks into your home? I'm Canadian, so I'd probably just apologize and help them rob me. My 4 dogs keep that from being a concern. Criminals will always take the path of least resistance, and 4 barking dogs ain't that. I'd put an electric barbecue starter under the doorknob on the inside. So if he grabs the knob, he'll burn his hand before he even gets in. Once he does get in, I'll have a blowtorch rigged to burn his head. And that's after they've slipped on the icy stairs. Then once they get inside, I've got some micro machines scattered at the foot of the stairs. And after they've slipped on those, I'll have some paint cans attached to strings that I can swing down at them. There's a lot of stuff to do. Just requires some setup. Since I'm not American, have no plan whatsoever. On the rare occasion my wife sends me downstairs because she heard something, I hope the sight of my naked body will upset them sufficiently that they decide it isn't worth it and leave. I flee out my back door if I can, and call 911. A giant dildo? A can of hairspray and a lighter. Actually, I'd probably sleep through it all. I don't wake up very easy. I would hope he'd have arms. It's the same plan I have for lightning strikes and asteroid impacts. This is something so vanishing unlikely that I don't think about it at all. But if they did, I'd hide and let them take whatever they want. And if they want me, I'd punch and hit. But it's so unlikely that I don't really think about it. And certainly not enough to be constantly armed. I have swords. But seeing as I'm just an anime fan and not actual swordsman, I'll come out singing and borderline screaming 1,000 miles. And as I'm making my way down, I'm going to throw the sword at him, which will scare and confuse the hell out of both of us and tackle him. I had someone break into a tiny apartment I had years ago. I yelled at them and they ran away. Police said to call again if he came back. And he never did. I really don't see how this situation would have been any better if I'd killed the person. Run at them naked while screaming. Not concerned about it where I live. Due to location, there is minimal if any crime in my apartment complex. But just in case, I do have a couple of noggin weapons I could use to defend myself. Hide. Call the police. And give them what they want. Only 100 out of 1.23 million burglaries in 2018 resulted in homicide. Burglary offenses are continuing to be less prevalent. Only 3% of home invasions are also linked to rape. Only 7% of home invasions lead to serious injury. 1/3 burglars are repeat offenders. So, if the police were better at doing their job, perhaps we could reduce these numbers. I'm not armed because I don't feel comfortable using a weapon and don't have somewhere to be properly trained in how to use said weapon. I also don't have the money to be armed currently, so even if I wanted to own a gun, I couldn't. I also live in an apartment unit, which is much less likely to be broken into than a single-family home. All of these statistics are based in the US and given by the Bureau of Justice Statistics. And I'd like to ask, what do you plan to do with your firearm if someone breaks in? It would probably lead to deadly force immediately on the end of the intruder, making the whole situation much more deadly for both of you. Edit. Also, according to the same statistics, 61% of burglaries occurred when the perpetrator was unarmed. Most burglaries occur when they know someone isn't home. This just isn't a likely scenario anymore, and using a gun doesn't seem to make it any less dangerous for the victims of the crime. And according to policyadvice.net, burglars are 3x more likely to target properties without security systems. If you want to protect yourself and prevent a burglary from happening, no matter how unlikely it is to happen. Then investing in a security system that is visible from common entry points might be a better bet. Edit 2. Thanks for the rewards and for the upvotes. Friends. Hope these stats help everyone understand this stuff better and offer a more realistic perspective on crime. Hide and call the police. I'm Australian, so yeah. My plan is to give him what he wants. No gun. He takes a bunch of stuff. I claim it on my insurance. I'm out the deductible. Gun. We start shooting at each other. One of us maybe dies. Or possibly my wife or dog. Best case scenario, he's injured and taken to the hospital. Why would I take on the risk of my wife dying in exchange for a couple $1,000 deductible? That seems insane to me. Unarmed person here whose house had been broken into multiple times. We have a dog. A very sneaky, small little boy who blends in with the dark. Every time an intruder broke in, we were alerted by blood-curdling screams in the middle of the night, early morning as my boy got to him. We stay put where we are and call the police to take care of the usually bloody intruder. I'd like to note that the reason we don't have guns in this house is because my father nearly killed the maid by accident. We live in a rich neighborhood where break-ins are common, so a lot of us have arms. He thought he heard an intruder and went out only to find that the maid was hungry in the middle of the night and went to get a snack. He nearly shot her dead, and that night made him get rid of firearms in the house. It's also worth noting that there are very strict gun laws in our country. To be able to have a gun, you need to prove A. that you need it due to a direct threat. Our social status and the rates of break-ins in our area was our direct threat. B. you know how to use it. There are biannual examinations to keep your license. So we're honestly not concerned about armed intruders. I'm bipolar. I came to the realization that me with a gun is a terrible idea years ago. As a result, we have a 90-pound livestock guardian dog that hates literally anyone that comes anywhere near our house and tells them so. Pepper spray, stun gun and a baseball bat. And I live next to gun nuts on all 3 sides of my house. That's helpful too. Well, hopefully living in a low-crime area of suburbia is my first line of defense. My second is a Malinois named Maeve, and the third line of defense is my pit bull named Dexter. If all else fails, grab the kids and run. Call the police and hide in a locked room.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.